KZIM, KSIM morning meeting begins.
And QID.
Now.
8:41, time to tell you how you can make yourself a little smarter and have a little fun. Well, you're doing it. Christy Mershon is here. She's the Assistant Director of Extended and Continuing Education on the campus of Southeast Missouri State University. Hello, Miss Mershon.
Good morning.
It's good to see you on our annual visit.
I know, it's always nice to be here.
Yes, and the paparazzi is following you again. Everywhere she goes,
awful.
she's like the Marilyn Monroe of college classes.
Oh, I can only be so lucky.
Yeah.
This will be also on our website. That's what Faune is referring to. You'll see video clip of both of us. So check it out.
She didn't clear it with me first, though, so I need you to blur out my face
Oh,
and everything.
yeah,
No, I'm
I
just
didn't.
kidding.
I didn't.
I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Alrighty, so good stuff always offered up on the campus of Southeast Missouri State University. When you say extended and continuing education, it's not just for people on campus, is it?
No, not at all. And the unit that I work for has sort of two branches. The academic side runs campuses at Kennett, Malden, Sykeston, Perryville, and throughout the region. And then part of what I do is classes that you don't have to be enrolled at the university to take. You don't have to fill out the admission application. There are some things that are fun, or things like today we have a phlebotomy technician program starting. So
What's phlebotomy?
phlebotomy would be dealing with blood, drawing blood, and yeah.
Okay.
It is Halloween
I was going to say,
season-ish.
good month to have that one.
But yeah, so it's professional, personal, or just fun classes.
I thought phlebotomy went to somebody who studies flab.
It sounds like it should be like phlegm.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, but it's blood. So who would want to take that class?
If you're looking for a new career, as you well know, we have a lot of displaced workers in this area, and the healthcare fields are very solid. And so if you're looking for a new career and you want to learn how to get certified to be a phlebotomist at one of the area hospitals or doctor's offices, this would be your course.
So you learn how to overcome your fear of needles and
Yes.
poking them into people.
Proper ways to draw blood, physiology, that sort of thing.
Okay. I could probably take blood from somebody, but I can't watch it go into my arm.
Really?
Have a problem with that.
See, the only thing I've ever had a problem with, have you ever donated plasma for anything?
Tried once, freaked me out.
Oh, awful.
Can't do it. Can't do it. It's very, very scary. But you should still do it, everybody.
It
What I
is,
say
yes,
is just
it's a
we're
wonderful
chickens
thing.
doesn't mean you should be. All right. So let's start with some of the fun stuff before we go all serious. Let's look here.
We talked about beer and bacon last year.
I know.
Who doesn't like beer and bacon and put them together? It's wonderful.
The two together are just a party.
And that starts next Tuesday.
Okay.
James Kane, had Kane Restaurant, it was at Dalhousie and now Port Cape, is making some specialty bacons, and then we're working with area local craft beers and other beers and talking about how wine pairings are popular, but you can do the same sorts of things with beer.
Right.
And what better to learn on than bacon?
That's awesome. We're having our first craft beer festival coming up on
I
Saturday
know.
at Arena Park. I'm excited.
And a lot of the local beer producers will be there. So that's, we work with a number of those people through continuing education. And so it's great to see that sort of movement happening.
Very
Craft
exciting.
beers and foods.
I'm looking forward to it. So if somebody wanted to do beer and bacon, would they learn about putting beer in bacon recipes? Or what
There's some
kind
of
of beer
that,
goes with
but
bacon?
yeah, and there's some of the what would you pair with what is bacon? I mean, we
Okay.
think of it as a pork product, but does it have to be a pork product, or can bacon be a smoked meat cured a certain way?
Ooh.
So the traditions of bacon, and someone sent me a Yahoo article last week that says next year there may be a bacon shortage.
Yeah, well, not shortage is what they're saying this morning, but the high cost of hogs or anything to do with hogs right now, bacon's going to go up by 10%, as will all other pork products.
We both have our tragic faces on. If you
I'm
going
going to fill my big box freezer. I'm filling it with bacon as soon as I get off work today.
It's tragic, but no.
Not having a bacon shortage at my house.
It's awful. Well, this will be a fun sort of evening out, and also everything we do, as frivolous as it sounds, we try to have a fairly solid educational component. So the idea is, yes, you have the beer and the bacon, but you leave and you learn something along the way.
Excellent. And how do you sign up for these classes?
You can go to the CMO website, so cmo.edu. On the sidebar, there's now a visitor tab. If you sort of scroll over that, you'll see continuing education off of that.
Yeah, and check it out because there's a lot here.
There's
That's
so
just
much fun.
one thing that you
Cake
can do.
decorating, Christmas decorating, Halloween, we have a ton. We could do a whole segment on Halloween stuff.
But in lieu of time and the shortage of it, you can buy sheets of stuff to decorate cakes with. I did not know that.
Fondant, yeah.
That is so cool because I am the worst froster on the planet.
Well, the cake decorating class, she's going to actually teach you how to make your own fondant. So the stuff that you roll out into sheets and then sort of drape over your cake.
That is just so much easier than trying to use a butter knife and swirl it
Yeah.
around. Good stuff. So that looks interesting. When is that coming available?
That's December 1st to get you ready for all of your holiday baking.
Okay.
And then, like I said, if you're into Halloween, I noticed that you had some ghost tour stuff with the Chamber of Commerce. We do a haunted downtown history tour, we do ghost hunting, and we do murder mystery dinners in October. So check that out.
That's cool. I heard that we do have quite a bit of paranormal activity in our downtown area.
We have a lot of stories and a lot of really interesting folklore. So if you see me running around downtown in a costume, I have not lost my mind. Well, that's debatable, but I'm out there for the ghost tours.
I'm so glad you said it because I was thinking it and laughing, but I didn't want to offend you right here.
No.
Alrighty, trash to treasure. What is that?
We're all trying to be a little more thrifty, and so it's taking things that you may have, and so this one has a wine theme, so all of those corks and bottles and the various things that go along with wine, making them into crafts and other things that you can give as gifts. So that one will be neat. And we have the upcycled Christmas gifts, which is a similar thing, but not wine geared.
Yeah, and what's cool about wine bottles, they're great centerpieces. I know Nikki and Jay used them with a candle in them at the centerpiece because she's a big wine connoisseur. And it's something that can fit. You can decorate the bottle and use it in any way.
And there's some nifty tricks you can do to cut them at home and make candle holders and other things easier than you may think.
Nice way to recycle.
It is. And, to give people things that really are cool gifts.
Very nice. Okay, so when does that starts in November?
That's November 17th, again, to sort of get you ready for Christmas. And then the upcycled Christmas gifts, not alcohol themed or wine themed, but a similar sort of idea is November 16th. So once you learn how to do some of the techniques, you can go home and make more gifts if you'd like.
Very cool. Plus, I want to remind everybody the beer and bacon thing, you have to be 21 to attend.
Of course, anything with alcohol.
Okay, so the upcycled Christmas gifts kind of goes along with the trash to treasure.
Yes, very similar, different, because we know not everyone is going to have wine bottles and wine corks.
Yeah,
around at home.
And you do have to bring a couple bags of wine corks if you're going to do that class.
Yes, we'll have extra, but if you've got them at home,
Bring
we'd
them.
like you to bring them.
And most of you have them, so that'll work. All right, something I know that my mom does this all the time. She's always creating jewelry. She's always putting stuff together with really neat, either stones she finds in nature and polishes, or with really neat little stones she finds at other places.
Yeah, have you been down to Sloan and Themis downtown in Cape Girardeau yet?
Yes.
Really cool little store. She, Claire Bruce, takes vintage jewelry, older jewelry, and sort of recycles and repurposes with new beads, and is very interested in teaching other people how to do the same. So if you have your grandmother's jewelry, not the good stuff, but the beads that you played dress up with when you were a kid, or those sorts of things that you would like to be able to wear, this gives you some ideas on how you can do that and make them wearable today and more modern.
Everything old is new again.
Very much so.
That's awesome. That's coming up real soon, isn't it?
Yes, it starts October 11th. So.
Okay, is that a continuing class, or do you just take it once and it's offered
No, it's a
multiple times?
continuing. It's several nights. It ends on November 1st, and it's in the evenings.
Okay, so you do have to, if you're going to do this, make yourself available for the class
For
times.
the duration of those, yes.
Okay, very cool. Now that one was very interesting to me because of some of the creations I see come out of my mom's house. Not all of which I like, but I'm just saying. But I like the one you sent me, Mom, if you're listening. Okay.
And Claire's got a real knack for sort of showing you how to take those things and make them new again.
And make them you.
And,
Okay.
and that's one of the things, I'm not just promoting Claire. We try to work with all of the local businesses and try to help show the community what we have here in this area and what people can learn from each other.
A lot of resources. Watercolor landscapes. Let's talk about that.
Yes, if you've ever wanted to try to learn how to do watercolor from a technical perspective, Kelly is a gifted artist, and she'll teach you a proper technique. So if you're already painting but you just want to know a little bit more, it's a great class. Or if you're just a beginner, she's open to anyone. She did a number of the Horizons Youth Camps for us this summer and was really patient. And I personally like that in an instructor, especially if I'm learning how to do something and I'm trying to teach myself a skill. She's giving you the foundation to go out and continue this as a hobby.
What's neat about this too, and I am no artist by any stretch of the imagination, but if you feel like you may have a knack for artistry and you've never really ventured into it, this is a good way to find out.
These are all of these classes. It's a sampling. Hey, I'm interested in that. We've run things like stained glass in the past. I'm interested. Would I want to do it? And the investment is fairly minimal. So before you go out and buy all of the things that you would need if you were going to take this on as a long-term hobby, you can try it out
Okay.
for a relatively minimal cost.
And that is, too, also a series of classes. Are all of
Yes.
these a series of classes?
No, we have a mixture. Some of them are one evening, and some of them, like watercolor landscapes, would be almost impossible to do in a few hours. So it would be an ongoing. Same way with swing dance, ballroom dance. Those, of course, are ongoing. But things like cake decorating, it might just be a one evening thing.
Yeah, because learning is always progressive. You know, as far as, watercolors, imagine what you could do that you could match your house. You could decorate your own home.
And landscapes are fun to do in the fall because the foliage here, it's a beautiful place, and so it's a nice class to do at this time of the year.
Again, you can go to cmo.edu and for continuing education
Yes.
and find this information as well.
Yes, ma'am. And we're always adding new things. The other thing that I always forget to say is because we use the community as our instructors, when people hear this, if you out there have a skill that you'd like to teach, I'd love for you to contact me because we're always looking for new workshops.
Yeah, and a lot of these are pretty well attended, so call if you want to get in.
Very much so.
Make sure you get a spot.
Very, very much so.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and tea. Everyone loves tea. I love tea. Everyone loves tea. By the way, back to the art thing, I had somebody ask me the other day, it's kind of a weird request, but then I thought, well, it's actually kind of a cool request. There are a certain distributor has bottles that are blue for wine, or not wine, but beer, like the Bud Light Platinum bottles. They're collecting that blue. It's like the color of my nails blue, and they're making mosaics out of it.
I started to say, I've seen it in mosaics, but yeah, and it's a really, really pretty color.
Beautiful blue, cobalt, beautiful blue.
And we use that in some of those recycled classes as well because it makes really pretty candle holders and other things. So
hang on to that stuff. I don't know why that popped into my head when I saw the word tea, but there you go.
No,
That's my
yeah.
logic. Okay, so tea lovers, they have something for you too. You can get in on this tea loving class
the wine
here.
tasting and then we did the beer and bacon. Those sorts of classes, the foodie classes, are becoming a lot more popular. You can do things like coffee cupping where you learn about coffee. This is a similar sort of thing with tea. Where do different teas come from? How can you learn to recognize by their acidity or their different flavors what regions they come from? How do you properly brew and steep? So there's a lot more than just grandma's tea cozy.
Yeah,
A lot of things you can learn.
I must have 40 different kinds of tea in my cupboard. I love tea.
I'm a tea junkie too. This time of year as it starts to get damp.
Very, very good. Okay, you said there was something that you wanted to make sure you mentioned. I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you.
Oh no, just about the if you're interested in teaching for us, we'd very much like to see you come and teach. If you have an interest, you don't have to have a PhD to teach these sorts of classes. And also, if you are looking to brush up professional skills, we talk about a lot of the fun things here on air, but we do try to give you a good offering of things like how to use Facebook or social media and of that nature.
Okay, awesome. We have about 30 seconds left. Is there anything I didn't ask you that we need to get in?
No.
Other than if you want to teach a food class, you have to get with Christy and I first. Christy and me first, because we have to taste everything.
I love this idea. This is why I come on every year so that you can inspire me.
Yeah, we get to eat it first.
Yeah.
Especially the bacon
The bacon is good.
and the beer.
So-
Christy Mershon, she's the Assistant Director of Extended and Continuing Education on the campus of Southeast Missouri State University. All these crafty and cool classes are available for the fall 2012. Christy, thank you.
Thank you for having me back.
You're welcome. It's 8:55.